I'm looking for Yakov Dubrovsky. Go away.
Listen, asshole. You got a gun pointed right at your...
Outriders is a game that's been on my radar for a while now, and that I've had high hopes for. I've always fully planned on covering it, and it was one of the titles that I definitely planned on including in my channel when released, alongside Star Citizen. So I'm pretty excited to cover this demo. The demo came out on February 25th, but it's really more of a soft release. In this demo, you're restricted to the prologue in the first area, but keep any progress and loot that you earn into the game proper when released on April 1st. Coming out one day after the announcement that Anthem is officially dead, I know a lot more hopes are riding on this one as Anthem players jump onto its life raft, and Destiny players, who may have gotten bored of the game, look for something new and fresh. It's a looter shooter, and comparisons are naturally going to be made to Destiny, the current pinnacle example of the genre. It feels to me like an unholy abomination created from the DNA of several games. It's as if you took the classes from Destiny and mixed them with the third-person cover gameplay of The Division, with the style of Gears of War, and threw in the story elements from Anthem. It may sound like I'm being cynical, but in reality, it's a mix that works out quite well. As this is a first impressions video, I'm not going to give a full review, and I don't even think one is possible from the amount of content present in the demo. I'll save that for the release. On the whole, this will take you about 2 hours to progress through, now counting replays on different difficulties. There are some things I can say about it though. The combat, arguably the core of the gameplay. The gunplay is really fun. The developers really seem to nail this aspect of the game. Each gun seemed unique enough for me to have to make a choice over using it over another, and shooting itself is satisfying. Even at this early stage, the looter shooter aspect was promising. I was always hungry for a weapon or armor upgrade, and though I really didn't get anything interesting yet myself, I've seen others get some pretty interesting legendaries. The demo features a couple of side quests, a trend of which, if continued into the rest of the game, will make for some exciting departures from the main storyline. The classes are all sufficiently different and interesting, and with such a small amount of gameplay available, it's easy to test them all to find your preferred playstyle before the game actually launches. I personally found the Trickster to be my favorite, with a fun and engaging close-up combat style, albeit a bit more difficult. The one class I was really interested in before I got into the game, the Technomancer, turned out to be my greatest disappointment. Not only in terms of gameplay, it was actually the easiest class to play I found, but the abilities left me wanting and didn't mesh with the power play fantasy in my opinion. Your superhero power is that you can throw grenades and launch turrets? That seemed really boring to me and a huge letdown. That's just me, and your style may differ. We'll see how it plays out in the main game. Watch, I'll probably end up maining it. The Devastator made for some fun gameplay. It's a tanky class that allows for an aggressive style gameplay. A big change from the squishiness of the Trickster. I usually don't play tanky characters, but I've got to admit, this one's tempting. And finally, for those of you who like to watch the world burn and immolate your enemies, the Pyromancer offers a great choice. Playing with fire in this game brings with it the power to leave destruction in your wake. The story seemed interesting, and I was into it from the start. No spoilers here, but I definitely wanted to see more. The voice acting was pretty good too, and not as cringeworthy as I've come to expect in other games. I was disappointed that the early gameplay seemed to be very linear, and I'm hoping this opens up in later chapters. Also, a couple of times, what I assumed would be a boss battle was just handled by cutscenes.
Fuck off! You can't take her back!
Who, the girl? This isn't a rescue, you barker.
Do I know you?
Mr. Chang sends his regard. Oh, come on! It's right in the middle of my line.
You were taking too long.
Planning it all the way here.
Thanks for the rescue anyway.
Again, really wasn't here for you.
I enjoyed the boss fights that I got to play. They were challenging without being rage-inducing. Each took your character's skills and mechanics to the fullest. I think they'll shine with multiplayer, but sadly I didn't get that to work yet. The The demo is free, so there's no loss in giving it a try yourself. Nor is it going anywhere anytime soon, so you have time even after the launch to try it out, as it's going to be up indefinitely. I have high hopes from what I've seen, but I'm cautiously reserved for the full game. The game styles itself as a full experience out of the virtual box, not as a games as a service. This sounds good, as you don't see this much nowadays in the infinite DLC era, riddled with the launch an incomplete product and fix it later mentality. So in that respect, it's a breath of fresh air. However, the litmus test will be how the game plays out in the endgame after the estimated 40-hour main campaign. The current model has 14 post-campaign multiplayer expeditions slated. Will this be enough? Will we have a reason to keep playing? Will doing the same expeditions over and over get boring? I know myself and many others are looking for a game you can invest time into in the long term. In the demo, you can see skill trees, which really aren't touched much upon in this stage, but if character development is a thing, it could go a long way in holding my attention, as that's one of the main reasons I play these kind of games. For me personally, it's not so much about the story, but developing my character and having a reason to continue doing so. I'm interested to see how they plan to keep us engaged at that point, and time will tell if this is a play once and done, or an experience you can keep coming back for. My current attitude is one of reserved optimism. The demo shows the core gameplay is there, but you could say that about Anthem too. I'm hoping the devs can get this one right. I actually find it encouraging that it was delayed until April, because it gives me hope that they're actually taking time to do exactly that. So thanks all for listening to my first impressions. If you liked, please help me to grow this channel by subscribing and giving me a like, and I'll definitely be covering this one more upon release.